biggest mistake you're making when drawing trees is going to be way too perfect. Stop it! Your brain wants to line things up, but we're talking about a tree here. One branch goes this way and the other one goes that way. This is why your trees look so stiff and unnatural. But don't worry. In this video, we're going to tackle one of the biggest mistakes artists make when drawing trees, making them too organized. Your brain naturally wants to create order, but nature is full of randomness and variation. My name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Grab your sketch pad and your pencil. Come on, let's get to work. But let's go all the way back when you were a little kid, and how would you draw a tree? You would do something like this. Just something like this. Little kid tree right there. Maybe even not even that complex. And you do something like this, right? There's a little kid tree. Whenever you were looking at something natural, one of the mistakes that we always make is we bring order to the natural. And things aren't specifically in order as far as like lining up. For example, if I said, I want you to line a whole bunch of sticks up, you might do something like this. You see? Did that subconsciously. But if I asked you to do it, you probably would not have done it like this. Now, this is what you want to. This is the way you want to do it. If you're going to do something natural, look at that. You see that line of sticks, there is no order to, and so your brain wants to constantly do this. But in order for it to be natural looking, you need to like constantly focus and get it looking like what it is down below. If I was to draw this tree in the same format, I might do something like this. Okay, now watch now. I'm going to come up here. Here's one trunk. And then, look at this. I might come down just a little bit and then do a skinny trunk. See the difference there? I've created contrast. It's not perfectly lining up. And then over here, look at this. Let's just kind of like rough in. What if we had a nice round thing like this, and then a little smaller one like this, and then maybe something over here like this, you see? Now this tree is far more interesting because it's not all perfectly lined up. So that's number one. So you want to make sure that you don't fall into a pattern. Number two, when you draw a tree, I want you to think of, let's just say a round sphere. Here's a round sphere. And let's say my light is coming in from this direction. So if I was to light this sphere with light coming in on that side, I would do something like this. Now that sphere has some dimension to it. And then I could come over here and add my trunk. There's my nice wide trunk, and then look at that. Boom. There's that other trunk that we just drew down below. And we could add a little more shadow maybe here underneath. So I'm not thinking of flat, I'm thinking of round and dimension. I might end up adding some roots here, look at this. And again, even the way I drew those roots, look, I put the fat root on the left-hand side and a little skinny one. That there creates contrast and it's breaking it up. Okay, so number two is you need to think of it having thickness and volume. That's key. Last thing I want you to do is check this out. Here's one trunk. Let's come down here and draw another one. Let's say this is nice and thick there. Okay, look at that. I want you to think of surface lines. What are surface lines? Surface lines are lines that we draw that go around the surface of a form. So if I draw it like this, look at this. And then I come back this way, you see I can create that branch is literally coming out towards us. And I get to go the opposite way over here and make this branch look like it's going back in space. Let's do the opposite. Here, we could do it this way. Look at that. Get those nice and curved on, and I'm just not throwing them down. I'm actually thinking of them being curved. This thing will go back like this maybe. And then this one is going to come forward. So there's surface lines. So I want you to think of those three ideas. Be careful not to be repetitive. I want you to think in volume. And I want you to think of surface, the surface of things. Let's start with this guy right here. Here's your standard big, might be an oak tree or a maple tree. Now, can you see the volume that's happening in these leaves? Can you see a light side and a dark side? There's the bottom part of the tree. Let's come up here and kind of just do a nice contour. A contour is just simply the outline of something. Now I want you to see this. Look at this. Look at this tree down here. Look at this right there. You see that? And then look at this right there. Look at this up here. And then look at this back here. See, I'm not seeing this as individual leaves. I'm seeing this as groupings. And then within the groupings, look at this. This could be broken down like this, like this, like this, like this. You see that? Let me get rid of those red lines now so you can see what I'm looking at. So let's come in here and go big here. Let's see here. There's one grouping. That's gonna help me a little bit. There's another grouping. Okay, we got that. And then this back grouping back here, look at that. It's just kind of coming around like that. Has like, for sure 2 values, but it could have a third. So let's come in here in general and just, and just put an even tone across the whole entire tree. Let's go in here now and add shape. Now look at this. Here's a shape of a darker area here. Look at this. I'm just going to do this here. All right, there's that one. Let's come over here and add another one. And this is small. This is not very big. This is only maybe 3 inches wide. Look carefully. Look at this right here. You see, that's almost like a sphere. You see, that's a sphere. One side is light, one side is dark. We're gonna have a dark side there. Look at that, just like that. So really want to start developing your eye where you start seeing these dark sides and light sides. Look at it. Look at it right here too. Here's another one. Dark side, a light side. See that's a bunch of leaves, branches that are coming out. Something to be bright, I could darken the area around it, just like that. Look at that. All right, let's get this trunk in here first. And then I can see that there's this trunk coming out over the side there, and then we've got this one. This branch is nice. You know, when I do branches, I like to do a little straight, and I like to change the direction a little bit. Do another one. Do another one. You see that? That kind of gives a nice natural feel to it. We're not even talking about leaves. Middle tone right here. Dropping a little bit dark here. Building this out of clay, right? You're thinking shape, but you're also thinking like, wow, if this was a bits of clay, I'm going to add it maybe right there. What does that look like? Now that we've got some base, now you can kind of go in if you want to hit this edge a little bit with a little texture. When I do draw, I think of value. I think of construction first. How is something constructed? You know, a tree, you know, I'd be thinking like, all right, what's in front of what here? Like this. All right, that's the construction. And then I add value. And then I come in here and I add texture. So those three: construction, value, texture. I go in that order because what will happen is if you get your value down first, a lot of times you don't need to add all this extra like every single leaf because the value, if you get the value in, a lot of times that value will, the person's imagination will see that texture where you have value. And this is what I think really good drawing happens, is when you can involve the viewer to use their imagination to fill in line where there is none. If you do have additional questions, please join our Facebook group. It's totally for free. Post your questions in there. You could direct it toward me, or even down here in the comments below, you could ask a question and I will try and answer it my best. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. All right. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye.